Good evening, everyone present here today, all members and guests who have joined us this Monday morning for the Toastmasters meeting. I will quickly start off with the business session for today. In the absence of the VP Education of our club, I will be announcing on her behalf that all the roles for next week are open. I request interested members to please get in touch with Toastmasters Purti to take up any role. Next up, I would like to invite the immediate past president, Toastmasters Sai Snehal, to announce the executive committee for the upcoming term. And over to you, Sai Snehal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankita. Well, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It gives me immense pleasure and extreme privilege to be announcing the executive committee for the term July to December. I request you all to kindly hold your applause till I announce the entire team and we can applaud once together. So starting off with the Sergeant at Arms, we have Toastmaster Sanjana H.A. as a Sergeant and Associate by Toastmaster Vaishnavi. Next, Secretary Toastmaster Shiva Prasad Sharma. Treasurer, as always, Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar Balia Singh. And in Vice President Education, we have Toastmaster Bhavani and Associate Toastmaster Ujjwal. Next up, Vice President Public Relations, we have Toastmaster Bhavani and Associate VPPR Toastmaster Ujjwal. Vice President Membership, we have Toastmaster Sanjana Prabhanjan. Vice President Education, we have Toastmaster Gaurav Badri, and the President of the club for the term July to December 2022 is, I can see all eyes, Lalana Murthy. Please welcome them. The installation ceremony for the upcoming officers will be held on the 4th of July, that is the upcoming week. More details on this will be communicated through WhatsApp by this week. Thank you, and back to the President.
Thank you, Sai Snehal, for giving us an update on the next term's executive committee. Congratulations to all the role takers, all the executive committee members for the next term. I wish you all the best in advance, and I hope that you keep Mecon's flag flying high and proud even as the next term comes along. Also, the roles for the next institution ceremony will look a little different. So please get in touch with Toastmasters Purti to know what roles will be open and how you can go ahead, book them, and do a great job at picking up those roles. With that, I would like to conclude my business session for the day and hand over the charge to the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Ujjwal. Over to you.
A very happy evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. The gray area, the place between black and white, that's the place where life happens. A 10th passed student, after the first turning point of his life, that is the 10th standard, is now in a gray area whether to choose science, that is black, or commerce, that is white. He may choose any of them, maybe due to his parents' pressure, or just because his friends chose it, or for any reason for that matter. But few will not get influenced by any of them and is literally in the gray area, being unclear and undefined. So being in that gray area, he tends to discover more about himself and will definitely make a final decision out of it. So what do we learn is that a gray area is where you can certainly make your own decisions by discovering more and more about yourself and be more independent enough. Now, there is one such special person who experienced the gray area and came out with flying colors, making her own decisions with a clear mind. This special person is a qualified chartered accountant and currently working in PwC. Aside from commerce, she has varied interests. She loves painting, playing the guitar, speaking to new people, and learning new languages. She is an avid reader too. She aspires to travel to new places and run out of the pages in her passport. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put our hands together and welcome our president, Toastmaster Ankita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjwal, for that very warm introduction. Before we open today's meeting, can I please request our Secretary, Toastmaster Bhavani, to come up here and read out the minutes of the previous meeting. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests present here. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1167, which was held on 20th of June 2022. With the theme Impact of Colors and the word of the week was appreciation. The business session started at 6:34 p.m. and was chaired by the presiding officer, Toastmaster Sanjana. In the business session, the following points were discussed. On behalf of Vice President Education, the presiding officer mentioned that all the roles were open for the next meeting. Associate Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Ujjwal, announced the extended time for the upcoming newsletter with the theme Beauty and Simplicity, and the date extended was for 23rd of June. The nominations were open for the club officers for the next term, July to December 2022, and the same was to be submitted for, via mail to the immediate past president, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, before 20th of June. The presiding officer requested the members to keep the base camp open to provide feedback to the speakers as well as the role takers. The regular meeting started at 6:36 p.m. Associate Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Shiv Prasad started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and then handed it over to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Sanjana, who opened the meeting, spoke on the theme, and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Sharani. Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers: the timer, Toastmaster Balakrishna; our counter, Toastmaster Pavani; grammarian, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa; PP Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Udanka. The prepared speech session had two speakers: Toastmaster Sanjana H.A. attempting her Level 1 Project 1 and was evaluated by Toastmaster Shiv Prasad; Toastmaster Balaji C.S. attempting his Level 2 Project 2 and was evaluated by Toastmaster Vijay Utenka. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Mamta and had 9 speakers who were Distinguished Toastmaster Udanka, Toastmaster Sindhushri, guest Ajay Chitrangan, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, Toastmaster Pavani, Toastmaster Jyoti, Harsha, who was the guest, and Toastmaster Balakrishna. The general evaluation session was conducted by Toastmaster Ujjwal P, and the winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Sanjana H.A., Best Evaluator Toastmaster Shiv Prasad, Best Table Topic Speaker Toastmaster Sai Snehal, Best Role Taker Tabji Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, MTG Toastmaster Sharani. The presiding officer closed the meeting at 8:19 p.m. Thank you, and back to Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavani, for the minutes of the meeting. Any changes proposed to the minutes of the meeting by the member? That's a proper noun, so I think we can. Okay. Oh. I think on this side. Oh, then you have to change the otherwise. I thought she pronounced it wrong. She also spelled it wrong. Okay, okay. Then of course you have to change. Cool. This is class. Are we all settled down? Cool. Let's resume then. So in Mekon Communication Club, we have this practice of introducing guests, making them feel welcome so that they can come up here and tell us how they got to know about themselves and why exactly they chose to be here on a Monday evening. So I'll start with my right. I would request those of you who are coming here as guests to please volunteer, stand up, come behind the lectern, tell us about yourself, why you are here, how you got to know about us. So can we begin from the extreme right corner? Could you please come up and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Purab Parekh. Hi, my name is Purab Parekh. I got to know about this place, Mauritius in Vishesh. I had come here last time also once. I wanted to experience it again.
Thank you, Purab. Welcome to our meeting. Can we have you, ma'am? You remember already? Okay, cool. Can we have you, sir?
This is my first time. My name is Murli. I have mainly come for my daughter. I wanted to get exposed to this. So I've been referred by Mr. Robinson D'Souza and Surekha ma'am, Saint Mark's Road. I am retired from Manipal University, NIT, various organizations, including Dale Carnegie. I am actually a trainer, corporate trainer, and I am retired. So first time sitting on the other side. Usually I am here. Thank you.
Thank you, Murli. I hope you enjoy the meeting and come on this side again very soon. Can we have you next?
Hi everyone, I'm Satya and I'm doing my first year college, bachelor's in English literature, BA honors, and I also got to know through Surekha ma'am, who is my very close friend, and Mr. Robinson, and I really loved this place, felt very warm the moment I came, and I'm sure I'll enjoy whatever is going to take place with all of you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to our club, and I hope you enjoy the meeting. Can we have you next one?
Hi, myself Girija, and I just got to know about this place online, and I was looking for a few courses like public speaking courses, and that's how I got to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Girija. Welcome to our meeting. I hope you enjoy. Jyoti, that's okay. You can still come. You got a number? You remove this. Can you have Sindhushree? Please, please. You should join us.
I'm not a Mekon member yet, but I come here every week. I hope every single one of you know me by now. So I'm Sindhushree. And if you ask me how I got to know about Mekon, it's probably 1.5 years back when we were in a meeting. And I think from then I'm attending Mekon quite consistently. And thank you so much. And
Thank you, Sindhushree, and I really hope, I say this every time I come, I really hope that we see you as a member of Mekon. I don't have to call you for a guest introduction. I'm tired of doing it. Can we have the guests on the second row? Can you have it in the end, the extreme right?
Good evening, everyone.
I'm Kirtashri, and I came to know this from Mr. Prakash from IFL Samastha.
Thank you. Can you repeat your name? I didn't quite get it. Kirtashri. Okay. Welcome to our club, and I hope you enjoy the meeting. Can we have,
Good evening, everyone. So, my name is Radhika. I'm here today to just see how the Toastmaster Club still goes. Like our HOD Prakash recommended. He was a member of this club, so he wanted our team members to attend this club. So we are here. Thank you.
thank you, Radhika. We really hope you enjoyed the meeting today. Can you have-
So good evening, everybody. My name is Lavanya. I am from IFL Samastha. Like our HOD, Mr. Prakash, he recommended this event. Like, yeah, today I'm here because the way how the communication way and the public speaking, everything they have to know. So that's why. Let's see. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think you all are from the same organization then. Okay, welcome. I hope you really enjoyed today's meeting. Can we move on to the guests on the left? I think, are you guest? You are it, please.
I mean, the expectation sort of what a guest has to do is continually increasing. There was a time when we could introduce ourselves as a guest just being seated. Then there was a time the rules changed for them to stand up and introduce themselves. This is the pinnacle. You have to walk up all the way. I spell it out for yourself and me. But in the spirit of full disclosure, my association with Mekong Communication Club is not new. I mean, I've been a past member for a very long time in comparison to a few members here, but dwarfs my experience compared to a few members over there. My name is Ajay Chitranjan, and I'm so happy to be back and so glad to see a full house.
Thank you, Ajay Chitranjan. Thank you for your introduction. And I would like to tell you why the change has happened thanks to the Villainous Virus. We have an online audience present, so for them to be able to see our guests, we call them up on the lectern and ask them to introduce themselves from here. So that's all thanks to COVID. So a very warm good evening once again. Oh, there are guests online as well? Okay, I think Shivam J is a guest, right? Could you please unmute yourself and tell us more about yourself and why you're here? Shivam? Shivam, could you please unmute yourself if you are listening to us right now?
Yeah, sorry, actually I'm traveling right now. So
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine, Shivam. Maybe you can introduce yourself during the break or sometime else. Thank you.
yeah, sure.
Very warm good evening to everyone present here today. It feels really good to see so many guests and members. The meeting room is literally full. We are jam-packed. Thank you all for sparing this Monday evening to enhance ourselves in the art of public speaking, to meet new people, to network, and to really keep the Toastmasters mission and vision continue. Welcome all of you to our meeting today. So what comes to your mind when you think about the color gray? Maybe an elephant or your favorite gray colored outfit? Well, if that's the case, you must be very lucky, because when I think of the color gray, what comes to my mind is indifference. It is confusion. It is uncharted territory, and I don't really know what decision to make. This was exactly the place that I was in last year in December, when I was given a choice whether I wanted to be the president of Mekong Communication Club, a club that has a legacy of 23 plus years now, veteran members from different walks of life, some of whom are sitting right among us in this very room today. And taking up this responsibility of being the president of a club that is so renowned and so prestigious for a lot of reasons was a very difficult choice for me. I found myself in a dilemma every single time. And I remember calling up Toastmaster Sai Snehal, who's seated right here, and telling him that, Sai, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I'm up to this, and I really cannot take this up. And every time Sai told me one thing, he said, Ankita, you take it up, and I'll be there to support you. I'll be there to help you in every possible way that I can. And together we will keep Mecon's flag flying high. The new year kind of filled me in with a lot of zeal and hope. I took that leap of faith, that step forward and said, okay, let me take up the president of the club. I will give it my best, try and do justice to the role, and give it the best that I can give, with every fiber of my being. And I took up the president of the club, and I think it has taught me the most valuable lessons of my life so far. It has helped me become a better communicator because I had to come up behind the lectern every single meeting. At least I tried to come every single meeting and give a presidential address. I was the face of the club, and so I had to make sure that I am doing the best that I can do, the best that I can be. And also I had to lead an entire team for the executive committee. And I think I learned leadership skills, I learned communication, I learned how to network, I learned how to manage people, because every single person is different. Every person thinks differently, every person feels differently, and every person understands differently. And I had to adapt to that person's style of understanding and thinking to be able to get things done. And that is a very important lesson that I learned through my journey of as president. And today, as I stand behind this lectern to give my last but one presidential address, as heavy at heart as I am to have come to the fag end of my term, I am also very, very deeply grateful for all of the experiences and all of the memories I'm going to carry along with me, and all of the things that I've learned through this journey. And I would like to say that all of us have met with ourselves with these gray areas in our lives where we don't know what to do. We don't know which path to pick. We find ourselves in a dilemma. We feel, okay, maybe I shouldn't do it, or maybe I should. I think I would just say one thing. You never know that you've made a decision right unless you have made that decision. You make the decision, you take that leap of faith, and then you use every fiber of your body to make that decision feel right, and things will fall into place. That is what I learned from my presidential, the entire term as president. That's what a lot of experiences in life has taught me. With that, I would like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies for today, who also must have been in the gray area when she was thinking, oh, should I take it up today? Should I be the T-mod for the last regular meeting that we have before the installation ceremony? Well, I did ask this person for the introduction, but I am completely unprepared, and I'm going to speak from experience and from what I know of Bhavani right today. She is the one member who has taught me perseverance, who's taught me resilience. With every role that she takes up, with every single task or every officer's role that she's taken up, she has taught me how to do justice, like more than just do justice to that role. She takes with her everybody in hand and works as a leader with everybody around her. She is somebody I look up to because she, even outside of Toastmasters, does a lot of other things, philanthropy, a lot of helping people, underprivileged people, helping people whom she can from the place that she is in. She is an aspiring chartered accountant, has completed her BCom from BMS College. She has been the area director of Area C2, which is the area which account belongs to. She is currently the secretary of our club, and she is one person who absolutely rocks at being the leader. with a huge round of applause, please put your hands together to welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Bhavan. Thank you, Madam President, Toastmaster Ankita. You have put me under a lot of pressure today, but I'll give my best. Yes, of course, I took up this role as Toastmaster of the day because this is the last meeting of this program here, half year. And I applied leave from my office, so I just could come here and make it in person. So I'm happy for that. Good evening again. I welcome you all to the meeting. I am your host and your host for the day and forever your host, Toastmaster Bhavan, who will be taking you all through today's meeting. Have you ever been on a crossroad where you're confused? You want to take a right or a left? You want to choose this or that? You want to wear jeans to a party or a salwar kameez to do? Have you ever been in that situation? Coming to that, while you were attending an online meeting, have you ever felt to dress fully or only Zoom ready, where you can just wear a shirt and jeans and wear anything? So how will you have gone through those situations where you'll be confused? So I'd like to show you a picture right now. Let me know how many of you have seen this picture. Very good. So I request you all just to use your index finger and cover this line from wherever you are sitting. Do you notice any difference? Same. I think the last right group. Once you cover the line, both the colors look the same. Did you observe that? Yeah. So that is the gray. That is the gray area which is all about today, wherein you have two choices. You know, one of them is right or both of them are right. But you'll be in the situation where you don't know what to choose. You'll just be confused or panicking or in anxiety mode. So here, throughout today's journey, I'll be telling you about how different members and other role takers here experience their gray area and what did they do. There are only two outcomes for this. One will be good. The second one would be a learning. I wouldn't like to use the word bad there. If it is not going how you want, probably that will be a learning for you where you will ensure that you do a better thing the next time. One more situation is after 10th standard, what will your parents, especially your relatives, say? Firstly, they'll call you after lunch. They'll ask you or your parents, what was your child's percentage? When they say 90% plus, they'll say, okay, let them do science and become an engineer or a doctor. If it is 80% or above, the next one is commerce. If you don't get higher marks, last one go to art or do a diploma. So this is somewhere where few of them feel that they are in gray area, but there are few children who know what they should be. They will be clear in their aim or career wise. But there are few people who will be forced upon to take what decisions you want. So again, those impromptu decisions will also be beneficial for few people, but the next one will be a learning. Like this, there was a person 90 years ago who found a gray area in communication and leadership. He was Dr. Ralph C. Smith. In 1924, he started a non-profit educational organization with his Toastmasters in Santa Ana, California. Toastmasters organization is spread across 149 countries, with over 3 lakh members. And we are one among them. So this our Toastmasters meeting is divided into three parts. So in the first part is nothing but the prepared speech session, wherein we'll have two speakers who would have prepared their speech according to the guidelines and would come and deliver it here. And the second session would be the table topic session, which I would like to call as the gray area for today's meeting, wherein you would be hesitant to come and speak, but you still want to speak. So I would say all the guests especially, please come and make the best use of this opportunity during the table topic session. And the third session is the evaluation session, wherein we have the individual evaluator and general evaluator, along with a few role takers who will come and evaluate everything with what happened during the meeting and will give their evaluation. With this, I would like to call upon the four role takers who will be helping our general evaluators. Firstly, calling upon the timer, Toastmaster Pavani, to read out your responsibilities to the members.
Very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, my job is to keep track of the time during the meeting. And I will prepared speech session. It will be 7 minutes, and I'll show the green card at 5 minutes, and yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. And then at the table topic session, the speaker will have 2 minutes of time, and I'll help them showing the green card at 1 minute, and yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and red card at 2 minutes. At the evaluation, individual evaluation session, that will last for 3 minutes, and I can share 2 minutes with green and 2.5 minutes with the yellow and 3 minutes for the red. Thank you, and whenever I call, I'll give my result. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavani. Let me call upon the out-counter Toastmaster member.
Good evening, all the Toastmasters and dear guests. I thank you all for calling me to take up our culture. This one I'll be making a note of what are the speakers or the table topic speakers using on and also some transfers. So thank you. But finally, I'll be giving the result whenever it is done. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mamta. Let me call upon the PT evaluator, Toastmaster Sai.
There are a lot of things in life that are great. Not talking about my hair. But there are certain topics which we do not touch upon. It would rather create some kind of issues or some kind of disturbance among the others. This is where it is called keeping the decorum alive. I would request all the members to kindly refrain yourself from talking about sex, religion, or politics. Apart from this, there are a few other rules that I would request you to follow. Keep your phones in silent. If you wish to enter or exit the meeting, kindly do so when the applause is happening. And apart from that, for the online audience, I request them to kindly come online if possible. And also, in case if you wish to leave the meeting, you can just drop in the Zoom chat and kindly do same during the applause. I will give my report in the general evaluation when called upon. Thank you, and back to the general evaluation.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sai. Lastly, calling upon the grammarian to be the Toastmaster.
A very happy evening once again. As grammar plays a very important role in Toastmasters, it helps the members in improving their vocabulary skills. As a grammarian, I'll be noting down the good usages as well as the not so good usages, and I'll let you know in the when I am called upon. Coming to the word of the day. Today's word of the day is engender, meaning to produce, cause, or give rise to something. Usage: political debates can engender controversy regarding the subjects discussed. I'll give my evaluation at the end of the session. Thank you, and over to the Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jill, and other auxiliary role takers. With that, let me dive upon to the first part of today's session, the prepared speech session. We have two speakers today who will be coming and delivering their speech. Before I call upon the first speaker, let me call upon the first evaluator who is a BCom graduate and working at PWT. He is a dog lover, a passionate photographer. The one gray area of his life was he told his parents that he's going for a short ride for 4 kilometers and ended up going to a 40 kilometers long drive, and he hasn't still told his parents. Probably wife lives may work in life. With it, let me call upon Toastmaster Gaurav to read out the guidelines for the first speaker.
Very good evening to all Toastmasters and to all the guests present today. The purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary style of leadership style or styles. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Note for the evaluator, that is for me, the member will be delivering a well-organized speech about some aspect of leadership styles. The member may choose to speak about his or her own leadership style or leadership styles in general and their impacts. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech should not be a report on the content of the understanding your leadership style process. I'll give my evaluation during the general evaluation session. All the best to the speaker. Over.
The first speaker is a BCom graduate from Jain College and currently pursuing CPA. He's passionate about quizzing, geography, and storytelling. And he openly admits that he cheats on his online examination. Written like me, I welcome the first speaker who is attempting this level 2 project 1, Toastmaster Prasad Sharma, the vice captain Toastmaster Prasad Sharma.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, for that wonderful introduction. August of 2008. Early in the morning, somewhere around 8 a.m., I'm waiting outside my house for my school van to pick me up. And I just picked up the newspaper that had just been delivered, Times of India. And on the first page, I see in big bold letters, India's gold finger. Abhinav Bindra had just won the first ever individual Olympic gold medal for India. And I was so inspired by this while I was just 9 years old. And there was another kid at this time, around 10 and a half years old. He lived somewhere in Haryana and he was being bullied for being obese. A very good evening to my fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Can any of you tell me who this kid is that I just told you about? Neeraj Chopra, yes. Of course, it is Neeraj Chopra that I'm talking about. The man who casually walked into that Olympic stadium in Tokyo, and when his turn came, ran as fast as he could and flung that javelin as far as he can, and with both his hands showed us that I have arrived. And we knew it. Now, Neeraj Chopra doesn't hold any office of leadership, any authority anywhere, but to me, he's a real leader because he inspired a billion Indians. And we all looked at Neeraj Chopra with our chests puffed in pride and said, we can do anything. And because all the other categories which you would say are required for a leader, good communication skills, utilizing resources, all that takes a backseat if you can inspire others. For me, that is a true leader. Young kids were inspired to take up sports. More importantly, the parents of young kids sent them into sports. And the parents of 20, 25-year-olds, they said, this guy is getting medals in Olympics and you can't even switch off the light when you leave the room. Anyway, coming to my case, I took up this project and I had to answer a series of questions on the Toastmasters website about my leadership style. And I discovered that I scored highest on the innovative style of leadership, also quite high on democratic and the coaching style of leadership. Now, honestly, I do not have any significant example to give you to prove that it's my leadership style, but I have a very short and a very true story that happened recently, wherein my leadership skills came out without my knowledge. Now, in my table tennis club, there is this 13-year-old boy, extremely talkative, right? Constant chatter, and I was irritated by his chatter. I went up to him and asked him, "Are you the same in your home and in your school?" "Yes, and I keep chatting like this." And this week, I'm especially irritated because of this speech I have to give in school. Did somebody just say speech? I was all ears suddenly. What speech? And my school elections are coming up. The 10 kids are competing for position of captain, and I am standing for vice captain of the school. So I have to give 2-minute speech in front of the assembly. Immediately, without thinking, I said, "This Anna will give you your speech." Typical Shiva Prasad, taking up responsibility without knowing whether I can deliver it or not. The boy immediately latched onto me. Anna, give me a speech, Anna, please, Anna, give me right now, please. I'll give one book and pen, please write it down right now, please, Anna. I'll go home and send you the speech, man. Anna, if you go home, you'll forget, Anna, please send right now, Anna. I somehow convinced him, let me play DT now. I'll go home and I promise to send you the speech. And I actually went back home and I kept my word. Again, a quality of a leader, staying true to your word, which you can see there. I took out extra 20-30 minutes and used a little bit of creativity, added a bit of humor, a couple of motivational lines about leadership, why you should vote for me, all that. And of course, the signature dialogue from the KGF movie, I don't want to repeat it. Added all that in the speech and I sent it to him. He was really happy, and actually he went on to give that speech in his school. And the next day he comes back and tells me that all my teachers, all my friends really enjoyed the speech. I loved it. And the boy was really happy. And I felt happy for him. Again, the quality of a leader that you see, being ready to help others. And watching others succeed and finding your success in that success and feeling happy. As a leader, you cannot afford to be selfish. Now, how does this story climax? Does he actually become the vice captain? Lastly, true quality of a leader that cannot be ignored is honesty. And to be honest with all of you, he gave this speech just this Saturday, and the results are yet to be declared at his school. So I hope he becomes the vice captain. He has not yet become. My fellow Toastmasters, I have just started out on this journey of self-discovery, and I really don't know if I have it in me what it takes to be a leader, and I hope to find out a lot about leadership, serving in the executive committee, and so on and so forth. And I'd like to conclude with a quote about leadership by Lloyd Edwards Jr. Leadership cannot be taught, but it can be learned. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you so much for that 5 to 7 minutes learning which you gave us Toastmasters System. With that, calling upon the second speaker. Before that, I'll be calling upon the individual evaluator, who is a mechanical engineer and has completed masters in designing from Bijplanning. He has been regularly competing for the international speech contest in Toastmasters. And he knows that it is not good to prepare at the last minute, but he still does that. So that is his area of being in gray. With it, let me call upon the second evaluator to read out the guidelines, Toastmasters Supreme Number Database.
I know it was bad to prepare in the last minute, so this time I'm going to do one better and not prepare at all. Madam Toastmaster, one of those masters, the speaker is attempting his level 2 project 3 from the manual. The purpose statement of the speech is, the purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. Notes for the evaluator: the member completing this project is developing an understanding of the Toastmasters mentoring program. About the speech, The speech is about a time when the member was a protege. It may be from any time in his or her life. The member may discuss any aspect of the protege experience. The speech should not be a report on the content of the introduction of Toastmasters mentoring project. Good luck to the speaker and back to you.
The second speaker is an electrical engineer by profession and is working in semiconductor industry and is singer by passion. He knows that it's not the right thing to do while he's ordering in Zomato and Swiggy, but he still does it. And not in good. He does the home food. With it, calling upon the second speaker attempting his level 2 project 3, Toastmaster Balaji CH, my mentor, my manager, Toastmaster Balaji CH.
It was the year of 1998. I was 7 years old. My parents had finally decided that they are going to buy a desktop at our home. It was a huge deal for me. I saw this screen they called the monitor. There was something which they used with their right hand called the mouse, and there was a keyboard. But the most interesting thing I was intrigued about was the small box. It was called the CPU. My mom told me, do you know what this is? This is the brain of the computer. I was awestruck. Wow, this is not some fridge or washing machine or TV. This actually is the logo which my parents have got me. Of all the things in that small brain, the one thing which stood out was this blue sticker in which it was written Intel inside. I was like, wow, what is this Intel inside? Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. When I decided to take up semiconductors as my serious passion and serious career, I came to know much more about this company called Intel. Anything you take in the textbook, the first line will be, this was developed in Intel, this was found in Intel, there is this guy from Intel who did that, everything will be Intel. So immediately in any MCQ and all, I would select Intel because I had a probabilistically higher chance of getting Intel. After getting to understand about this company in quite a deep extent while I was studying, it was a dream come true for me when I got my first interview experience with this company. I stepped into the Intel India campus and it was a dream come true moment for me. And here in my interview was the first time I saw my future manager and also thankfully my mentor. He gave a brief introduction about himself and quickly went on to business. He had a series of technical questions he asked which was required for the project or for the project of working in Intel and which I had to answer. At the end of the hour, I was not very sure if I had done a good job. I thought I had this great opportunity of working for this great company and probably it's slipping away right now. But he did something which I still don't forget till today. He started relooking at the questions which I had not answered properly. He started giving me small hints. He prodded me and actually ensured that I got the answer right. But actually, he did not outright give me the answer. After this, I was surprised with myself. Wow, actually, I knew the answer for this. I just needed a bit of encouragement. Dear Toastmasters, this was not the only instance when my manager did this thing. Even on a daily basis, he never gave me the solution outright. He always ensured my life was hell. But actually, looking back, I know what he was doing there. He didn't want to give me the answer because he wanted me to learn. He wanted me to unlearn the things I did in college and probably relearn. And that, dear Toastmasters, was the most key thing I looked at as a key aspect of my mentorship under my manager. He was someone who never came and gave me the solution. He was someone who never fought my battles, but he always ensured that I was equipped to go out and fight my own battles. This was a man who was special, and I was very glad that not only was the company I loved a lot, but actually I found a manager whom I think I started to like more than the company itself. During my time in Intel, there were a lot of deadlines and there were a lot of deliverables as is required in any corporate, right? And there was once this time where I was not able to meet the deadline. And I thought it's not a big deal. I just thought, it's like calling me for a review and saying, no, I can't do the speech today, I'll give it next week. I just thought something like that. I went up to him and said, hey, I couldn't do it today, let me give it to you by 2 days. He absolutely lost it. He got extremely angry and he chastised me and said, this is not done. You cannot do this. If you are given a date, if you're committed for a date, you need to deliver on it. And he went on and emotions were running high and he gave me a mouthful and I felt very bad. But after 5 minutes, probably he too realized nothing was going to be achieved by shouting at me. Then he took a deep breath and he said, I will take care. That day evening, we had a status meeting with the higher management, and people were giving him left, right, center, and he was facing the heat. But not even once did he take my name up. He just said, sorry, we missed it, and we will, take care of it. Please excuse for this time. After that, he took me out for a hot cup of chai. Ironically, even though the cup was hot, actually it pulled us down a lot. He talked with me for some time, and suddenly I asked him, "Hey man, why did you have to take so much? You were just told, like, I stood up. Why do you have to take it up on your own?" Then he told me, "Balaji, it doesn't matter if you didn't do something or I didn't do something. End of the day, the team promised something and the team didn't deliver. And end of the day, I am responsible for it." This term, this phrase always stuck with me. He told me, "I am responsible for you," and that day, my respect towards my manager grew twofold. Here was a mentor who took responsibility on how the prodigy performs. It's not like whenever there is a crisis, he lets you know face the problem. Rather, he stands in front and protects you. But behind the scenes, he will make your life difficult, but still outside it's all nice. Finally, the most important thing which I learned from him was, after a point of time, I became very comfortable at my job. And one day he called me out and he said, "You know what, Balaji, I think I'm going to quit my role as a manager here and I'm going to look out." I was surprised. "You are in Intel, the company for semiconductor industry. What's the problem with staying in Intel?" And he told me, "Do you know what is the most common electronic item everyone is using today?" I thought about it for some time and told, "Yeah, probably everyone has a cell phone with them." He said, "Exactly. Intel is not doing enough to get into the cell phone market. I'm not very happy with them. I'm going to a different company." And he gave me this piece of advice. "I think you also should look out and not be comfortable where you are." And that, I think, dear Toastmasters, is the most important thing which my mentor taught me. He didn't make me dependent on him. He equipped me. He ensured that I was able to do my role as an engineer in an effective way. But never did he ever make me feel like I needed him always to be around for me to perform my role. There were so many times where there were certain tasks which I had to do. If we had done it, maybe it might have taken a few hours, but it took me more than 2 or 3 days. Rather than looking at the short-term gain of completing certain tasks in a speedy manner, rather he ensured that I tried it, I failed, I again retried it, and maybe finally succeeded. So here was someone who was genuinely interested in the person and not in a short-term goal like a project deliverable or company targets and stuff like that. Even today, I'm in touch with my first manager and my mentor, and from a technical kind of relationship, now it has become more cordial, where we literally talk about anything and everything under the sun, which I cannot talk about because of our parliamentary positions. But any which way, this is the lovely relationship I've had with my mentor. Even though we can talk about so many things about how important mentorship and how important a prodigy is, I am a standing example to tell you that it has been a great experience in my life, and I also try to invite the similar aspects of what he has done with me whenever I try to talk with people or this sort of college. Dear Toastmasters, mentoring, of course, is a very, very important thing. And as I mentioned, I am a standing example of the benefits of the program of mentoring people. With this, I would like to genuinely thank my first manager and my mentor, Mr. Prasoon Kumar. And with this, I would like to hand the chance back to my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Master Balaji. With this, we come to an end of the first part of today's session. As the manager of Master Balaji said, that you have to come out of his comfort zone. Here is your chance to come out of your comfort zone to the second session, which is the table topic session. To conduct this session, we have a person who is working as a project manager for quality at UD Trust, who loves collecting postcards and enjoys singing. She knew it was wrong to bribe somebody, but still she went giving 200 rupees for her passport verification 7 years ago. And I'm thankful that you actually still remember. With that, let me call upon the table topics master, Toastmaster Sanjana, actually on this. Thank you, Toastmasters of the day, Bhavani. So welcome guests and good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I will explain a little about the table topics for the benefit of the guests. So this activity is mainly to improve on the skills of impromptu talking. So it will engender your listening skills, your quick delivering skills. So I hope you enjoy this session. Today we'll not have individual topics, but we'll all weave a story together. So I'll start off with a prompt and I'll call one of you to the lectern. And after that, the next person continues the story. So I'll start with the prompt now. And the prompt for today is the story of an 8-year-old boy called Sundar, who has gone to Kadlekai Parshe with his mother. And it's very crowded. It's a Sunday evening. But there's one particular section which he's attracted to. There are dragons for display. There are 3 dragons, one from China, there's one from, I think, the Norwegian breed, and there's also one from Vietnam. And he's so lost looking at these dragons, he actually gets lost. He looks around and his mother's not there. So what is he going to do now? And I think CM Vijay Upendra, would you like to tell us what Sundar will do now?
Thank you, table topic master. Good evening, Toastmasters, welcome guests. I being the 8-year-old guy, I lost. I became a dragon. Started flying. Reached a different destination altogether. Suddenly, I became a lion. Then I started talking. Then I was talking to all other animals. I said, I have come from a different country. Now you all have to obey me. With all egoistic tendencies, I started dominating everybody. From small mouse, it came and said, I can challenge you. I got wild. How can you do that? He said, it is possible. Then, very next day, I was tired and sleeping. Suddenly, there was a disturbance. A hunter, he put something on me. I could not really free myself. Immediately, the mouse came, told that, now it is time for me to save you. And he cut the entire net. That freed me. This is a great lesson I learned. Not to be egoistic, not to be demanding, not to be, say, about egoistic in any situations. Because it is not the power, it is accommodating everyone so that we can travel together. Thank you, and back to you, table master.
So CM Vijay Upendra, now Sundar is the lion and he's freed from the hunter. So CM Jyoti, would you like to say what Sundar will do now? He's a lion. He's just out there in the wild.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear friends. Well, Sundar became a lion and he is free. Now he's so free that he doesn't know where to go, what to do. Because all these 8 years, he knew what to do only when his mother told him to do. Otherwise, he was not allowed to take any decision on his own. He had to play at the time when his mother told him. He had to eat what his mother told him to eat. When he went to school, the teachers told him what to do. And hence, this freedom became a suffocation for Sundar. And Sundar sat down and thought for a while, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I change myself? And then it struck to him, the best way to is just move on. So he got up, he started walking. He kept on walking and walking and walking. And then he saw there a tree filled with flowers and fruits. And then he thought, I have not eaten this fruit, and mom is not there. I have not climbed such a tree, and teacher is not there. So let me do that. And then he slowly touched the tree and felt the tree. The tree was strong, hard, and then he thought, let me take a step. And he just climbed and he fell down. And he looked at the tree and said, how can I fall down? I will come to you. Again he tried. He climbed and he went up and up and up on the branch. And then he got a comfortable place there and sat down. He took hold of a fruit. He ate it. Yummy, tasty. He took a flower and looked at it. Colorful. It was not great. And then he took the fruit and the flower and 1, 2, 3, off! He jumped on the floor. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team Jyoti, for that wonderful, vivid explanation. So now Sundar has fallen off the tree. He has a fruit, he has eaten a fruit, and he has had a flower in his hand. And he's still alive and remember. So, TM Monish, would you like to continue?
Thank you, Tail Master. Okay, so he's had a fruit, so he doesn't know where the fruit is from, and he has a flower. So he starts seeing things slowly, and he doesn't know what it's made of. So he starts seeing fairies, and slowly he's looking at a mountain, he starts running on the mountain, and then he wants to fly, right? So he jumps off the mountain, and he waits, and as soon as he falls down, he opens his eyes and he's in his bed, and his mom's already shouting, "It's already late, what are you doing? I've already made the breakfast." With that, he runs to the bathroom and he gets ready and comes out. Yeah, and he forgets to brush. And then, yeah, so back to school. So then on his way to school, he falls asleep again. So going back to his old dream. So when he falls off the cliff, he realizes that he's started gliding over the river. Then he sees a lot of colors and he sees a ship, an old ship, a wrecked ship on an island. And he's curious because it's a big ship with 3 masts and it looks something like the Pirates of the Caribbean. It looks one of those black pearl ships, and he goes closer only to realize that Johnny Depp is there and Amber Heard is on the island. Yeah. So, and there's a judge in the center of the island. So Johnny Depp, as his usual starts walking, and he realizes again there are a lot of tribals running behind him. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, that now. I would like to welcome one of the guests. Saipaya, would you like to volunteer? Okay. You can still continue with the Johnny Depp session, or you can draw parallel and let's go back to Sundar. Okay.
So Sundar is now wanting to explore an adventure for himself, and he thinks, where shall I go? So he plans to go to the beach and spend some time there with the sand and with the water, and with taking his family along, and they have a fun and cool time in the beach. And then he thinks, what shall I do next? So he plans to go to a movie, and he asked his parents which movie you would like to watch. So his parents said, we would like to watch an English film. And he says, okay, even I love English films, so I'll also watch with you the same film. And that film is about Pirates of the Caribbean Sea. And they have a gala time and they enjoy the film a lot. And then he thinks, where shall I go next? And I stop here and give it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vaidya. When I was a guest here and I had the table topic, I spoke less than 30 seconds. So you spoke for quite some time. So thank you. So now they're in the movie theater. And PM Pavni, would you like to take off from there? As quite a good night.
Sundar's family is in theater watching the movie. In the intermission, Sundar felt hungry. Of course, children go to movie for snacks along with the movie. So he asked his mother, he'll buy some chocolates or popcorn. So mother hands him 100 rupees and Sundar runs to the food counter. There he sees popcorns of different 5 flavors and he wanted to taste each one of them. So he asked the person to have all the 5 mixed to one. Okay, that person mixed all the popcorn. In that, by mistake, so much of chili powder has fallen into it, mixing all together. He brings that to the theater, and everybody started eating it. And suddenly, everybody started sneezing. So everybody alarmed about the COVID situation. So suddenly the movie interrupts, and now the management wanted to find out what's the cause. It's going to be serious issue. So everybody was stopped not to go outside of the theater, and Sundar started crying. What's happening here? With that I'll conclude my story.
Thank you, TM Pavni. Is this like an everyday situation you come across where kids get hungry and to buy popcorn? Okay, so now Sundar is having popcorn. Is there anybody, because this will be the last person who will be coming behind the lecture, anybody wants to volunteer? Yes, please.
Blessed evening, dear guests and Toastmasters. As Sundar was eating popcorn and watching movie, suddenly a splash of water on his face, and he was shocked to see it was a dream, and he opens his eyes. And then again, he finds his mother. His mother is not around, and he goes back searching again. Where is mom? Mom is not at home. And finally, he ends up in the Kalakai Birthday again. And again, he sees the dragons, and he aspires to become a dragon. And again, he enters into the dreamland of dragons. And as we see in the English movies, huge enemies coming, and as the protagonist, he tries to protect the hero from the enemies and all that, and lot of fire. He burns the enemy's territory by putting out a lot of fire from his mouth and all that, and saves the country there. And then again, suddenly he finds somebody shaking him up, and he opens his eye, and then mother gives a tight slap. Where are you? I've been looking for you all around. Where did you go? And I always told to be with me. And then she gives him a mouthful of lecture, to be honest and accompany her. And then he comes back home, and as usual, the daily course of the day starts. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Do we still have time? No? Okay. So I hope you all enjoyed this table topic session, and I didn't know Sundar could become so many things. I wish I could as well. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for Sundar for the wonderful session. So this fun storytelling session has engendered us to go towards the break. Right now we have 10 minutes of Good evening once again and welcome back. Now it is time to move on to the last part of today's session, which is the general evaluation session. Let me call upon the person who is taking up this role for the first time. And she is currently pursuing BCom and is an aspiring chartered accountant. She loves singing and is passionate about Sanskrit, and she also loves baking and sketching. She knows that it is wrong to ride without helmet, but when she's with her friends, she thinks it's okay, and they think that they can easily generate from the top. So with that, let me welcome the General Evaluator Toastmaster Sharanya Prasad.
Thank you, MC of the day, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and welcome dear guests. In this general evaluation, Toastmasters will receive feedback which will benefit them and they will become better at it. As the general evaluator, with the help of all the role takers and the individual evaluators, this session will be completed. Let me straight away come to the meeting evaluation. I can say that the meeting was very well structured and it was flawless. The meeting started at 6:33 because of the hybrid setup, which involves a lot of technical challenges. It has become a norm to start the meeting 3 or 4 minutes late is completely acceptable. The next session was the business session that is conducted by President Toastmaster Ankita, where we had a lot of updates. Firstly, she mentioned about the roles, which is open for the next week, which we can contact Toastmasters Foods for it. The next update was given by Toastmaster Sai Snehal. He announced the executive committee for the term July to December. The installation ceremony happening on the 4th of July. The business session was brief and clear. The next was Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Ujjwal started the meeting with talking about the theme, the grey area. Toastmaster Ujjwal speaks very naturally and has his humor also attached with it all the time. His introduction of the president was done very well. On the whole, it was a great Sergeant at Arms address by Toastmaster Ujjwal. Can we have a round of applause for Toastmaster Ujjwal? Now, coming to the presidential address, Toastmaster Ankita opened the meeting by the minutes of meeting of the previous meeting read by Toastmaster Bhavani, where we had some amendments, and I request Toastmaster Bhavani to make the changes accordingly. And it was also followed by a lot of guest introduction today. Toastmaster Ankita speaks so effortlessly without any flaws and is admired by everyone. She also spoke on her take about the theme. She also mentioned a lot of incidents which is so relatable to all of us. She mentioned what the color gray means to her. She concluded by saying we should take the decision and make it right. Her introduction of Toastmasters of the day also was on point and was flawless, and the details being given out. She gave us all the energy to start the meeting. Can we have a huge round of applause for our President Toastmaster Ankita? We will now start with the individual evaluation of the speeches. We had 2 speakers today. The first speaker was Toastmaster Shiva Prasad with the title, The Vice Captain. Can I now request the individual evaluator Toastmaster Gaurav to evaluate the speech?
Very good evening once again to all the Toastmasters and my target speaker, Toastmaster Shiva in particular. First of all, congratulations for starting your level 2. And first, when you started your speech, I was expecting humor from you because whenever you deliver a speech, whether let it be a prepared speech or a table topic, or let it be a sergeant's address, you'll always have that bit of humor, which I like the most. So you started off with a nice opening where you were waiting for your van and you got a newspaper and saw about a gold medalist. And then you ask a question that, you're talking about someone who's very obese and you won a gold medal. So that kept everyone in the audience thinking, who is this guy talking about? And you revealed it's Neeraj Chopra is your inspiration. And as I told you, you kept a little bit of humor, and most I enjoyed is self-humor. So not everybody's cup of tea to make jokes on themselves. For example, when you said that typical Shiva Prasad. So all this self-humor is not everyone's cup of tea, not everyone is comfortable doing it. So I appreciate a lot of that self-humor you did. And you told that you're an innovative kind of a leadership style. So everyone had that thing like, what is innovative style? So you could have elaborated a little bit more on what this style is all about. And then you gave your self-life story as to how you were a leader to a boy you met in table tennis classes. So there also had a little bit of humor where you narrated that story, because if it was a blank story, then of course everyone would have lost their interest. The one thing I realized that is you have a very good voice modulation. You're talking like a 13-year-old kid and talking as you as a grown-up kid. And few things you have to work upon is you didn't have much of a movement. You were stiff in one place. Of course, they had hand gestures, but if you could move a little, like when you're talking as that kid, you could have moved towards the right, and you're talking yourself, you could have come towards the left. And of course, this is both online and offline mode. Most of your eye contact was towards the camera. So I request you to look at the offline audience, because you have a lot of audience present here. Other than that, a very good speech. One thing I appreciate the most, you didn't have a script in front of you. So yeah, that shows how well you were prepared, and it was flawless. You were not stuck in between remembering what you wanted to say. Overall, a very good speech. Make sure the points that I told you to improve and improve in your next speeches. That's all from my end, and all the best for your future speeches. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for the detailed and valuable evaluation. You mentioned all the positive aspects of the speaker, like how he added humor, his voice modulation, and his body language, and much more. And you also suggested where the speaker could improve. I think it was a great speech and a great evaluation. You also rightly read out the project guidelines in the beginning. Can we have a huge round of applause for both the speaker and the evaluator? The next speech was given by Toastmaster Balaji with the title, My Mentor, My Manager. Can I now request Toastmaster Supri to evaluate the speech?
Mentoring inside, excellence outside. Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmaster Balaji in particular, I will split your evaluation into two parts. The part that is as a speaker and as a project. What is good in you as a speaker? I think you're a natural storyteller. Your confidence speaks when you are already standing here, you hear even before your name is announced, right? So that shows the confidence, the composure, and the comfort you have behind the lectern now as a speaker. And from the word go, you have humor, you built imagery, very nicely built up story, and then you naturally transitioned into your message or into the project about mentoring and how there was natural chronology to it, which made us really nice to understand. I'm going to be a little critical in your evaluation, provided you're a pretty senior Toastmaster and you've been here for quite some time. The things that you can really improve on in your storytelling is eye contact. Is something you were constantly on your right. I don't think throughout your speech you saw Ajay even once. I don't think you like him. But maybe you could try to turn around and use your whole stage and body language, use your whole stage and eye contact to make your message more emphatic. The second thing is pauses. You have lovely jokes, humor peppered into your speech. Wait for the audience to laugh. Take that moment, give them that moment to laugh and enjoy your speech, and then go ahead. You kind of hurry into your next sentences. Having said this, coming to the manual, this calls for telling how Toastmasters envisions mentoring and your individual experience as a protege. There, I think bringing out your experience, it was remarkably done. You had a few points that you needled throughout your speech with your manager, where he showed different forms of mentoring in his own journey. The first thing being guiding you through your challenges, not giving you solutions, but nudging you in the right direction. The second thing is preparing you for the battle, making your life hell, but at the same time helping you. He's preparing you for the battle. The third thing is reprimanding you when you were not right, when you missed your deadline, but doing it in private and having your back in public. That was something that he really did well. This is the mentoring, and at the end, we are a team. That's a complete holistic approach to mentoring. You did that really well. Now, how you can take it one step higher is the speech calls for telling how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. So now the best part for you is to connect how each of these things is carried out in Toastmasters. For example, guiding how your mentor here guides you to give more speeches, guides you to come up with better speech ideas. Second thing, preparing you for the battle, maybe a contest evaluation, table topic, international, how they prepare you for those contests and tell you what you can do better each time. The third thing, reprimanding you. That's the evaluation you get after each speech. It's a positive, a constructive evaluation, but it improves each time you come behind as a speaker. The fourth thing, we are a team. Here, we grow as a member, we grow as a club, and throughout, we grow as Toastmasters International. So this is how you could have covered the whole thing and brought it into Toastmasters, make that slide connect and make it more easy for all of us to understand. But all in all, a beautiful storyteller, great humor, a little callback, some connection with respect to this particular project. I'm sure we are going to engender a lot of people to take up memberships. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Supri, for that excellent and comprehensive evaluation, which catched upon all the positive aspects of the speech. You rightly mentioned his strength, clarity of the topic chosen, body language, confidence, humor, and much more. The suggestions also were great and was on point. You also rightly read out the project guidelines in the beginning. Let us have a thunderous round of applause for both the speaker and the evaluator for the great effort they put in. We have to have role takers for a successful and a fruitful meeting. When I call upon the role takers, I would request them to come here and give their report accordingly. I now request Toastmaster Mamata to give her report as the accountant.
Thank you, Shania, for calling. Now, I'll be reading out every member, how many hours, arms, and force is used. Assessor Ujjwal, flawless. Acting President Ankita, she used 2 hours and few ants. PM of the day Bhavani, she used 2 hours and few souls. Timer Pavni, flawless. I myself, I used 3 hours. Then Brahmadian Ujjwal, flawless. Sai Snehal, he was flawless. PT Speaker 1 Shiva Prasad, he used 2 hours. Then evaluator Gaurav, he used 2 hours. Balaji used 2 hours and few hands. Okay, then table topic master Sanjana, she used few souls. TM Vijay Penasar, he was flawless. Jyotian, she used few hands. Monish, he used few hands. Yes, Saibia, she used few hours, few arms and few hands. Since it was her first speech. Toastmaster Bhavani, she used 1 hour and few arms. Toastmaster Zuleika, she used 2 arms and few arms. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mamata, for that brief report. Now, I request time of Toastmaster Pavani to give her report.
Good evening, Toastmaster. Everything was in time today. I mean, started by 2 minutes, but everybody took the right time. Business session lasted for 2 minutes. And welcome by Sergeant at Arms took 2 minutes. The President Ankita in total took more than 10 minutes. And the introduction of the MC took 1.5 minutes. In the speaker, first speaker Shiva Prasad took 6 minutes. And the evaluator Toastmaster Gaurav took 2 minutes 57 seconds. And the second speaker Balaji, Toastmaster Balaji took 7 minutes. And the evaluator Toastmaster Suprit took 3 minutes 20 seconds. And the table topics, 6 speakers were there today. Toastmaster Vijay Upendra took 1 minute 40 seconds. Toastmaster Jyoti took 2 minutes 18 seconds. And Toastmaster Monish took 1 minute 52 seconds. And guest Sai Priya took 1 minute 20 seconds. Myself, Pavani, took 1 minute. And Toastmaster Zulekha took 2 minutes. And General Evaluator Sharanya till now took altogether more than 5 minutes. And I'll come back with question.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavani, for the detailed report. I now request Toastmaster Ujjwal to give his report as a grammarian.
All right, so coming to my evaluation. Firstly, coming to the good usages. The good usages were perseverance, resilience, philanthropist, decorum, horror struck, equip, cordial, and protagonist. And coming to the not so good usages. Firstly, I'm a positive person, so I do not look into the not so good usages. Actually, to be frank, I didn't find any good not so good usages, to be frank. So, but I somehow managed to get few not so good usages. But even though I found out the role takers made it correctly, the very next moment they told wrongly. So, and moving on to the best of my knowledge, the word of the day was used by 3 role takers. So that is by Sanjana H.A. and Toastmaster Supreet and Toastmaster Bhavani. So yeah, this is my report. So thank you and over to the general manager.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjwal, for another detailed report. Can I now request Toastmaster Sai Snehal to give his report as PP Evaluator?
Thank you. The role of PP Evaluator is a lot like being in a gray area. What may seem white for one may look for black for another. The line is fairly invisible, but I would like to appreciate every member who's been behind the lectern for being very mindful of what they spoke and not hurting anybody. Although I'd like to make a few announcements, or rather notices that we had a full house today and most of our members were excited today. So there's a little bit of chit chat here and there which can be avoided because it seemed to distract the speaker now and then. I think one of the speakers or one of the members' phone's voice assistant also was listening because it said I couldn't quite get it. So maybe they could put it in silent so the next time no one's disturbed. Apart from that, it was a really good, amazing, smooth flowing meeting. Thank you and back to the General Evaluator.
Yeah, no, I'll do it. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, for your observation and the creative way how you introduced the role. Can we have a special round of applause for all the role takers? I request all the members to vote for the best performers of today's meeting. Everyone will be given 30 seconds of time to vote. Can I request everyone to vote? Yeah. Okay, I hope everyone have cast their valuable votes. And now, coming to the debutant role taker, table topic master, Toastmaster Sanjana. This was the first time she ever took this role and it did not feel like that. This session was so fun-filled and creative. She started off by giving an introduction of what table topic is, and she also rightly stated all the objectives of the sessions like impromptu talking, listening skills, and more, which helped her guests. This was the best table topic session I've ever been in until now. It was done very well, and compliments to you on the innovative way of conducting this session. All the members could relate to it and respond well. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Tanzila? Now, coming to the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Bhavani, that was a fantastic theme and we all loved it. The introduction of the theme was also done so well and it was so innovative. It was a lesson for all of us to do the things right. Her transition from the theme to history of Toastmasters was also done very well. She also explained the meeting structure, I'm sure which helped a lot of guests here. And introduction of all the role takers were also done in a great way. Such a wonderful job, Toastmaster Bhavani. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Bhavani? Overall, it was a great meeting with informative and good speeches, wonderful table topic and perfect evaluations. There was so much to take away from this meeting and I had a lot to learn. With this, I would like to hand over the charge back to Toastmaster Bhavani.
Thank you so much for the wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Sarani. Hope everybody enjoyed today's meeting, and I would like to hand it over to the president. Before this small message, I request everybody feels good to use white lights during their normal time or even in office, or when the police catches you. You just say you just use some random reasons that it's some emergency I just have to go. I had my system yesterday, but today and I forgot to take it. Or be for the emission test or renewal of your insurance. So we have thousand number of reasons, but if you just do everything one time, right, I don't think you will have time to think for so many reasons to escape that. So with that, I request you all not to often fall into the gray area, just be in the black side or the completely white side of life. With that, handing it over to our president, Toastmaster. Thank you so much, all the role takers, for having put forward to take up roles in today's meeting as speakers, as tab role takers, as major role takers. Thank you so much for the courage you have shown to stand behind the lectern once again, or if it was a debutant role, then for the first time, which requires an ounce more of the courage that you already have. So thank you everyone for making this a very fruitful and wholesome meeting. And thank you all the guests for taking out time from a busy Monday schedule and still joining us for the meeting. Before I give out the ribbons and do the procedural things, I would like to call upon distinguished Toastmaster M.U. Bhatt to give us a few lines and a critical evaluation on how we performed as an executive committee in serving the club and its members in the 6 months that went by under me as the president. Please, sir.
Madam President, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Today when I came here, I was thinking all new faces. I was thinking there were so many faces. Ultimately, I found out that I am the new face because for last 8 weeks, probably I have not attended the meeting. Both my son and daughter with their families came, 1 month after 1 month from US. So I had to be with them. So I couldn't attend most of the meetings here. So I missed meeting. So that's why I was asking you whether I'm the right person to come in. But one thing I can tell you that today when I see a full house like this, I become really nostalgic and emotional also, because after a long time of more than 3 years, I think, we are seeing a crowd like this, the people like this, and I feel so much. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because I think there is no answer. They're watching me, but they are not put on their videos. I think I can. I forgot about that. Sorry. So anyway, when I see people like this, when I see that our old glorious days are back, the way we are, and the great meetings are being happening in our meeting in our club today. And I've seen Ankita from even when she was in education and to the president when she graduated in the earlier roles. What I find is that she has got a natural sense of she's in charge of the lectern and she is back, is behind the lectern. She's got all the power and the control. And she has got that kind of present behind the lectern, I would say. You have done an amazing job, Ankita, as the president. And I'm seeing many persons, new persons who have come, and I see newcomers like Shiva doing real excellence. Bhawan, of course, he's a veteran, he has virtually become a veteran in Toastmaster Circle in several clubs, I think, district level, the area director and all that. And of course, our Sai Snell, all other friends, because he's the person who conducts every day, all the video arrangements and everything he does it. And Udanka is again, what I call, always on the speed. After his double DTM, actually still is now division governor, I think going for the district governor also. But director also. Okay, good. So all in all, I find that one thing I have seen from my experience here that let me tell you one thing. This is Veerabhadrappa was telling me the other day that we should be sitting at the back and only youngsters take over. I said that's what we've been doing anyway, because we don't have, the youngsters are doing so well, we stand in front of them, and I don't look like a pygmy. The way that wonderful speeches are being given, whether Ujjwal or Shiva or Sai Snail, the felicity with which they express themselves. Yeah. But some good point, what I'm seeing after a long time is, I'm seeing Supreet back, and I'm seeing Balaji back. And hopefully our Ajay also will be back soon, hopefully, yeah. So that will definitely take our club to even higher level, because otherwise Supreet will be always present only during the contest only, and he will get an award in the district level, and again he will go back to his office. So probably why I'm telling you this is, when you listen to Supreet's evaluation and the speeches on the table topic responses, there is a lot of learning. Toastmasters is not about just practicing it behind the lectern. It's also learning from others. When you look at somebody else evaluating, somebody else speak, or how to give the table topic response, you know how to do it better. That is the learning which has to take place. And that's why I call upon Balaji and Supreet and Ajay to come more often. And I think now you have come back, I think, for hopefully on a more sustained level. Let me hope that. So that's one thing. I'm same thing with Balaji also. I don't know, you are still with Intel only. Yeah? Okay, so now we are going to have a new committee. I know the Toastmasters about every term, every year. I have been in this Toastmasters from last more than 23 years, from the very inception of this club was in the 1998. So maybe next year I think we are going to celebrate our silver jubilee next year. No? Next year, yeah, 20. So we'll be having our let's do it on style. So all in all, I find that I really do not have to comment on how well we're doing, because we are doing well and we are improving day by day. That's what I find. And another thing is the proof of putting it in the eating. The very fact that we are finding there are today about 9 guests says that the word is spread, the good word is spread. People know that, yes, this is one of the finest clubs of Toastmasters. In Bangalore alone, there are more than 100,000. You can do the number, how many clubs are there in our 2 districts, Bangalore? 125 or 425, 250, around 250 clubs in Bangalore. Ours is the 4th oldest club in the country, not in Bangalore, let me tell you. And that is something really commendable. And we are still holding our flag high. And even at the age of 75, I feel so young, and I'm sure I will continue in this club for another 25 years. Okay. I think that we are doing quite well, and in the coming committee, headed by another veteran, I have got a very great regard for our Lalana Murthy. So she is a class by herself, whether in the Rotary or in here. So I think our club will go to attain your and your height. But as far as this term is concerned, I am really very, very content and happy that yes, we are after all definitely doing something right. That's what I can tell you as far as the Toastmasters is concerned. And all is happening because all of you people. And all I can request is continue to do the good work. That's all I can say. I think I can take over the secretary of election to do that. Okay. So I have got another onerous duty to perform today. That's about the induction of new members. There is again another great thing, because today there are 9 persons to be inducted as new members. 9. And I don't think there is any meeting with 9 members being inducted. So out of that, why are actually they were our members because of the pressure of work, whatever they discussed, again they are coming back. That again tells something about our club. That yes, we are. So they are Jyoti, Raghunandana. Raghunandana is not coming today. Veerabhadrappa and Zulekha ma'am. Yes. And Vishesh. Vishesh also has not come. Okay, sorry, please take a seat now. So I would not like to call you up to this lecture because you have already taken the membership oath. So all we can say is let's give a round of applause to the committee. We have got 5 persons who are joining our club, new, 4 members. So one is, I think I request Sanjay, Sai, can I request Sanjana Suresh to put on a video? Can you look at it? Sanjana, yes, sure. Okay, so we have got 4 members. Sanjana, you can just raise your hand, just to show that you're present.
Sorry.
Can you raise your hand, just in the oath-taking ceremony? Yeah, just you can just when I request you. So can I request Balakrishna, please come on here. Mamata, please come on here. Sanjana, please. Yes. You can spotlight anyway, there only one online number is there, so spotlighting is not required. So Toastmasters is a membership of Toastmasters is a privilege. And the only way to gain the benefit of the program is to actively participate. Do you, Sanjana, Mamata, Sanjana again, and Balakrishna, promise to be active members of this club, to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for your duties? You may say, I do. You can
I do.
unmute and say, I do. Yes, I do. Thank you. Do you promise to fulfill the other points of Toastmasters promise? Let me tell you one thing. When you fill up the application of the Toastmasters, behind that there is a promise of Toastmasters regarding attending meetings, taking part in discussion, all the some parliamentary issues, all the promises are there. If you are not ready, I would call upon you to read that so that what the promises are there. I take it that you are going to follow this promise. So you can just say that in that your response say, I do. You may say, I do, I follow the promise.
I do.
Sanjana, thank you. Now, may I request all the members to write. Do you, the members of Nikon Communication Club, promise to support Jyoti Jyoti is not, we have already Jyoti. Balakrishna, Mamata, Sanjana S.A. and Sanjana Suresh as they work the Toastmasters program? Yes, thank you, please. It's my pleasure, Balakrishna, Sanjana, and Mamata, to declare you installed as members of the community.
Thank you.
One more level. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Emubad, firstly for inducting the new members and also for all the work, encouraging and kind words that you have to say for the term that's just almost gone by. I still cannot believe that it's over, this term's over. I think time just flies by. when I took it up, I felt, okay, 24 meetings, every single meeting I have to give an address. This seems like a Herculean task. But now that this is my last meeting, and last regular meeting as a president, I do feel heavy at heart, and I really cannot believe that time just sped by so fast. And I think this is the beauty of Mekong Communication Club. We have a mix of people from different walks of life, belonging to different age groups, who go on to prove that age is in fact just another number. And what really matters is your willingness to learn, your willingness to show up, and your willingness to constantly keep improving at your communication skills, because that is one skill that you will need wherever you go. So I'm really grateful to be part of this club and to have served as president of this club. I think I will carry all the learnings I have had for my entire lifetime. So thank you, distinguished Toastmaster, for everything that you have to say. Tomorrow we will be sharing a recording of today's entire meeting, which is a practice that Sai Snehal had brought in. It will be a YouTube link. You can watch the entire meeting all over again. Maybe if you missed somebody's speech or you want to see how you performed, you can just click on that link, go and watch the entire meeting at your own pace and in your own time. So please do watch out for that link on the WhatsApp group, which you can then use to watch the meeting again. Also, please do go to Basecamp, provide feedback. It goes a long way in helping all the role takers and members to show up ever so often and come and give their speeches or take up other roles that we have. Also go one step ahead and just message them an SMS or a WhatsApp text saying that you have given them feedback on Basecamp and they can go and check it. Every time I have read feedback given to me, I have felt elated, I have felt motivated, and I have felt encouraged to do better and be better. So please do give a chance for others to experience that too through your feedback. Now coming to the most awaited part of today's meeting, that is the winners of today's meeting. I think I'm doing this for the last time, so so here goes. The best role taker in the TAPG category, meaning the timer, counter, PP evaluator, and the grenadian. This goes to the immediate past president Toastmaster Sai Snehal, who very beautifully used the team into his role. So congratulations, Toastmaster Sai. The best role taker in the MTG category, which means the MC, the table topic master, and the general evaluator. This goes to Toastmaster Bhavani. Like I mentioned, even in my presidential address, every role that she takes up, she does full justice. And so I was right. The best table topic speaker, this goes to Toastmaster Vijay Upendra. The best evaluator, any guesses? No brownie points for it. Toastmaster Supreme. Everyone also said we hope to see you more often. Now just in context. Congratulations. And the best prepared speech goes to the speech titled Vice Captain. Very willingly went and helped that kid. Thank you, everyone. Reiterating again, next week we have an installation ceremony. I would request all the ExCom members, the potential ExCom members who are present here right now, please be dressed in formal. And also all of you present here, the guests and members, please do be there in the installation ceremony, as we will be welcoming the next executive committee for the term from July to December. With that, let's all rise for the national anthem before closing. Thank you, everyone. I officially close today's meeting. Good night and see you all next week. Can we have a group photo before you all leave? And also one more thing, the executive committee, please do stay back. We have some things to discuss before we can break for the day.